if you're a guy who gets intimidated by beautiful girls, like really beautiful girls, and you act funny or whatever, what that means, it's a worthiness issue, always. It means that you do not truly believe deep down that you deserve being with a girl like that, okay? So there is no game or thing you can do. I mean, yes, you can bring it up and make jokes about it, which will help a little bit. But if deep down you don't believe you can get that girl because you can't get her, you're not worthy, that's a deeper issue, and there is no overnight solution for it. You need to do things in your life that will make you feel better about who you are as a human being. Okay, that's the point I got to eventually. But I'm 35 years old, and really the last couple of years I really feel like, yeah, I deserve all this good stuff that's happening to me. I'm fucking awesome. But it took a lot. It took, I've helped hundreds of guys, thousands of guys at this point with their dating lives. I've made lots of people laugh doing stand-up comedy. I do nice things for people. I really have understood who I am and why I'm here, and that I have a life's purpose, and I'm actually doing what I should be with my life. It took all of that really for me to finally be like, yeah, fuck, you know what? I deserve a beautiful girlfriend and dating other girls and having money and traveling the world and all this great stuff. I really didn't believe that I deserved that type of success. I didn't believe that. I felt guilty about it. I felt guilty making lots of money. I felt guilty eating in a fancy restaurant. I felt guilty dating 3, 4, at one point 4 beautiful girls at once. I was like, oh, can I really do this? Can I be dating 4 girls? I don't know, man. So it really comes from your own belief. And that's one thing that you can never fake, how you truly feel about yourself. You can't fake that. So you got to do whatever it takes. For some people, I say, you know what, quit your job and save up some money or take a loan out and go to India. Go and do yoga in India. Go on a spiritual quest. Do a fast. Do a meditation retreat. Do something and just get away from everything and just think about who you are and what you stand for and what life is all about. For other people, it might suit them better to just go and join a soup kitchen where they feed homeless people 3 times a week. Or maybe go around at night in a van and give blankets and snacks and whatever and help people who are on the streets or whatever. But again, by doing nice things for people and recognizing that we're all actually the same energy, we're all literally the same frequency, we're just different expressions of it. By realizing that and treating other people like they were your brother, like they were your sister, like they're your mother, like they're your father, this is serious shit that can lead to enlightenment. This is how you start really loving who you are on a deep, deep level. I've never actually told this story, but publicly, but I think this is a great moment to do so because it's actually led to my first really deep realization. So I'll tell this story. So years ago, this is 2009, I was in Toronto, Canada, my home city. What up, Toronto? It's a shithole, but what's going on anyway? I was leaving the Eaton Center Mall, and there was a Japanese girl, and she was giving away these flyers. Okay, she was from an organization called Happy Science. Sounds really culty, it's like fucking weird. But it's not. It's actually a Japanese spiritual, I guess, religion or group or whatever. And they only have one thing that they teach, just reincarnation. Reincarnation is real. You reincarnate, treat people good, enjoy life because you'll be back again. There's no such thing as death. That's basically their whole mantra, which is cool. So I talked to this woman, fascinating. We had a really interesting conversation about God and nature of being and existence, all kinds of stuff. And she gives me this book by this guy, Ryo Ohara, who started this group. And the book was about the different levels of existence. So basically when you die, you can go to the 3rd dimension, 4th, 5th, 6th. And basically I read this is years ago now, but basically it was like if you're like a normal person, you're in the 3rd dimension. And if you're a really a pretty good person, you're in the 4th dimension, and if you really help a lot of people and do all that kind of stuff, you're in the 5th dimension. And if you dedicate your life fully to helping other people reach enlightenment, then you're in the 6th dimension, and so you just move up and up and up. And saints and Jesus and Gandhi and Buddha, all these guys, they're on the 9th dimension. They're just right up there. And it was really fascinating, how he describes it and what he talks about and how to get there. And it is really, really fascinating stuff. Anyway, so I read this book and it was in my mind, and I was really sort of getting into some of these ideas. And one day I'm just walking along down the street, and just near King Street Station, so it's like a subway station. And I'm just about to go in the station, and on my left there's this crazy lady. This lady is absolutely insane. She's just yelling and screaming and going fucking apeshit. Okay, and a very negative energy. Actually reminded me of my mom, who was pretty much nuts. So it was just it was killing me. So everyone's just avoiding her, they're running away from her, whatever. And me as well, I'm I gotta get away from this fucking lady. So as I start walking down into the subway, I'm going down there, and this crazy thought enters my mind. And the thought was, go and talk to this lady. Right? And I'm just all right, I'm gonna go talk to this lady. So I go back there, and I tap this woman on the shoulder, and I see her eyeballs go in from her head into She literally was not on this planet. Her being was elsewhere, some God knows where. So she tunes back in. She looks at me and she just says, I scream. I scream so much, my head hurts sometimes. And I'm just like, how long have you been screaming? She's like, 2 years. I'm like, why are you screaming? She says, my husband left me and he took the kids. And I was like, all right, that's bad. But I said, all right, well, let me ask you a question. Where are your kids? Are they here in Toronto? She goes, yeah, they're here in Toronto. I said, well, that's good. They're safe, right? She goes, yeah. I said, they could be over in like, Iraq or Afghanistan. They could be in some war, getting shot at, but they're not. They're safe. And she's like, well, yeah, that's true. And I said, how about you? Are you homeless? She goes, no, I've got an apartment. I said, well, look, you've got a place to sleep. Your kids are safe. Life's not, you got food to eat, right? She goes, yeah. I go, life's not so bad. She goes, yeah, that's true. And I said, well, I believe that, the Creator, that which brought us all here, if you want to call it God, loves us, and we're all equal, and he wants us to be happy. And I think we all have the potential to be creative and wonderful human beings and share and be with each other, and we can all have a good life if we choose to. She goes, yeah. I said, do you really want to end up being one of these crazy ladies who stands yelling on the middle of the street? And she goes, no. And I go, so you can choose not to. She said, yeah. Anyway, so I had this conversation with her. It was like a 10-minute conversation. It was just a normal human conversation where I just gave her a little perspective, gave her some advice, whatever. And at the end of it, I just said, listen, you're going to be okay? She goes, yeah. I said, give me a hug. I give her a hug. She goes, thank you. My bus is coming. She goes, she gets on her thing, and she's off. Okay? It was actually a LRT, we call it. It's a streetcar, we call it. So she goes off. So she leaves, and I'm like, all right, cool. Going home. So I start walking down the subway. So what I notice is, initially I felt really happy after this experience. I just felt like, wow, I feel happy. And I thought, I guess I feel happy because that was a nice thing to do. Simple. But as I was walking towards my train, I just started feeling happier and happier and happier, and until I just started feeling this joy coming up into my body. I couldn't even explain it. I was starting to feel like ecstatic, like I'd taken some kind of drug, but I hadn't taken any drugs. And I had this thought, and the thought was just, hey, here's what happened. I didn't just do a nice thing. I helped another soul on her journey on this planet. And in that moment, I had a very powerful realization. It was just a clear moment of clarity, a moment of understanding. And in that moment, what I understood was that is the point of our existence. It was just that the point of us being here is to help other people realize that there's no such thing as death, and we're all just here for a ride. And so in that moment, I realized there's no such thing. This was just hit me, and it hit me actually physically. I had a feeling. It started on my forehead. It was like a fire, and it went all the way down my head, down my back, down my arms. It was really overwhelming. I felt complete joy, and I just understood there's no such thing as death. We're all just here to learn stuff and help each other realize the truth that there's no death, and this is just a physical experience we're having. And I just knew this completely, like without any doubt. I just knew this truth, okay? And I felt super happy. And as I had this realization, I looked at the faces on the subway, and everyone had this bright light in front of their face. It was like two lights. It was like one here and one here. It was like super bright. And I looked at people's faces, and it was blinding. So I actually had to look down because I just couldn't look at people in the face. Okay, so that went on for about half a minute, maybe a minute, whatever. So after that passed, and I just had this realization, I felt really happy. Then I looked up, the lights went away. I thought, all right, it's going to be back to normal now. But no. Then I felt empathic. So I could actually feel the emotions everybody was feeling. And everybody, strangely, every person's face I looked at was feeling the same thing. They felt totally lost, like they just had no idea why they were here, their purpose on the planet. They just felt kind of hopeless. And again, that gave me strength, because in that moment, I was like, I have to tell these people that they're just spiritual beings in these human bodies, and we're just here to realize there's no such thing as death, and we're here to help each other. And that was just, I felt that. And I used to just say I was empathic in that moment, but really I've been thinking about it more, and the realization I had was that I just became in that moment closer to the truth, which is that we are all actually the same energy, and that's why I was connecting with everybody, because I was just on that frequency of we're all one. Okay. So the point is, what led to that experience? Because you might hear that and be like, wow, that's fucking crazy. That can happen to anyone. In fact, that everyone should have some kind of awakening like that, because it just brings you to this truth of that there's no death and that we're all one. It's a beautiful thing. So all that happened, I didn't do any magical crazy stuff. I read a book that was really interesting, and I've had these questions with my whole life. But hey, you know what? Everyone's had these questions. Everybody wonders who we are, why we're here, what our purpose is on this planet. It's just that some people pursue it more than others. And I believe that everyone at some point I actually got this from a book called Conversations with God, which is amazing. And in that book, it's written that everybody is on a spiritual journey, whether they know it or not. So you're always going to get there. In the end, you will get there. But the question is, do you want to do it now, or do you want to do it next lifetime, or the one after that, or the one after that? The sooner you do it, the better for you. Anyway, so all I did, though, for this kind of thing to happen to me is I read a couple of books, and I really was thinking about them, and it was part of me, and I was just letting it kind of run through me, and I was just letting my mind go where it may, and I did this nice thing for someone, okay? I didn't do some miraculous thing. It's not about, you know, the magnitude of it. I don't have to donate $10 million to somebody. I just helped one human being that needed help. And clearly this lady needed help. She was yelling out of frustration and anger, and nobody was helping her in that moment. And I took it upon myself, I'm going to help this lady, I'm going to talk to her. That's all that happened. And by doing this one nice deed, it gave me one of the most beautiful experiences and you know, of my life, basically. Truly amazing. To this day, you know, it's really with me. That realization is with me, and it always will be. So take that on board. You know, if you really truly don't believe that you're worthy or whatever, or you just want to go on a spiritual journey and you want to get that feeling of being one with everyone. You want to be happier and, you know, and just more connected to all there is. Go out there and help people. Do nice things. Do what feels right in your heart. And yeah, the sky's the limit. It really is amazing. It's really that simple. It doesn't have to be. I believe the simplest and most powerful things in life are very easy to actually do. Are the simplest things to execute. So that's it. That's my crazy story. I hope it's useful. I hope it's entertaining. And yeah, for all you guys who want to embark on a spiritual path, I've actually started a blog just about this. So right below, there's a link. It's all about my spiritual journey. Enjoy.